In this video, we're going through the top PS5 games released in 2024, ranked by MetaCritic scores. From epic adventures to thrilling action, these games defined the year. Let's jump right into the list. Fear the Spotlight, a game from Blumhouse Productions, known for its scary movies. It's an indie ghost story that takes you through a haunted high school with two friends, Amy and Vivian, as they uncover dark secrets. The game has a retro PlayStation 1 style look, but with modern gameplay. It uses point-and-click mechanics, making it easy for beginners to play, though it may not be very scary for experienced horror fans. The game is more about adventure and puzzles than survival and fighting. You won't fight enemies, but you'll solve simple puzzles and try to avoid enemies. The story can feel a little confusing and doesn't fully explore some themes like bullying or the girl's relationship. However, after finishing the main story, you can unlock a second campaign that has better puzzles, scarier enemies, and a stronger story. Fear the Spotlight might not be the scariest, but it's a great way to start playing horror games. Its mix of old-school style and easy-to-understand gameplay makes it a good choice for new players. The Legend of Heroes. Trails Through Daybreak starts a new story with a darker tone. You play as Van Arkwright, a mercenary doing shady jobs. The game talks about important issues like anti-immigrant feelings and the rise of a mafia group. If you're new to the series, this is a good place to start, and old fans will enjoy the familiar story. The game has a smaller group of characters, which helps develop them better. The battle system mixes turn-based and real-time action. This makes it more tactical, but it can get repetitive. You can also customize your characters with gems and shard skills, which add strategy. The side quests are fun and help build the world. However, the game misses mini-games like fishing or cards. In the end, Trails Through Daybreak is a great start to a new story, with a strong plot, better combat, and a fun experience for both new and old players. Dragon Quest III HD 2D Remake is one of the best RPG remakes to come out in 2024. It stays true to the original game while adding some great updates. The graphics look amazing with HD 2D art, bringing the world to life with detailed enemies, colorful towns, and fun animations. The turn-based battles are still the same, but with some new options. You can change your party's classes and even use the new Monster Wrangler class. The battles are fast and fun, but you can make them easier or faster if you want. You can also change how your party fights. There are a couple of downsides. The inventory system can be a bit awkward, and the characters in your party don't have as much personality as in newer Dragon Quest games. But even with these issues, the game stays true to the original. The pacing is great, and optional quest markers help you stay on track without taking away from the classic feeling of exploring. Next, we have Thank Goodness You're Here, a funny game set in a small English town called Barnsworth. You play as a businessman with a lemon sherbet head, and your job is to help the quirky townspeople with strange tasks, like cleaning gutters and making fish and cigs. The humor is what really makes this game fun. There are lots of jokes, puns, and funny references to British life, like the National Lottery mascot and yellow grit bins. The game captures the feel of a small town in England, and UK players will enjoy the nostalgia. The gameplay is simple, with easy puzzles and some backtracking. It only takes about 3 hours to finish, but the jokes and funny moments keep you entertained. However, the gameplay might feel too simple for some, and the game ends quickly. Still, if you love British humor and quirky games, Thank Goodness You're Here is a fun choice. Alan Wake 2 Night Springs is a fun DLC for fans of the original game. It brings back the creepy Twilight Zone-like stories and has 3 different episodes to play. The first episode, Number 1 Fan, is all about action. You play as Rose Marigold, a fan who has to fight through a mob with a shotgun. Instead of the usual light-based combat, you get fast-paced shooting, making it a fun and violent experience. The second episode, North Star, slows things down. It features Jesse Faden from Control. This episode focuses on puzzles and survival horror, as Jesse explores a creepy theme park. It's scary, but feels like typical horror. The third episode, Timebreaker, is the weirdest. You play as actor Shawn Ashmore in a strange multiverse adventure full of confusing designs and surprising twists. In short, Night Springs is a great mix of stories. It doesn't add much new gameplay, but it's a fun addition to Alan Wake 2 and leaves fans wanting more. Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered takes the original game and improves it in many ways. It enhances NPC animations, textures, and overall world immersion, making the game feel more alive. The remaster brings the game closer to Horizon Forbidden West, with smoother NPC movements and more NPCs in key locations. While the story and gameplay stay the same, the visuals are much better with improved lighting and textures. The addition of haptic feedback also makes the experience more engaging. However, the inventory system remains unchanged from the original game. For a small upgrade fee, this remaster offers a polished version of a great game, making it a solid choice for fans of Horizon Forbidden West or other action games like Assassin's Creed and God of War. Braid Anniversary Edition is a special version of one of the most important indie games. The game still has its unique rewind mechanic, which makes the puzzles fun and challenging. Each world adds new twists to this mechanic, keeping the game fresh even though it's a short experience. The remaster includes updated visuals and a new soundtrack, but these changes feel more like different versions rather than big improvements. The best part is the detailed commentary, which gives players a deep look into the game's design, art, music, and programming. There are also alternate level versions that show behind-the-scenes details about how the game was made. However, the story, told through unclear text, still doesn't feel very exciting. The creator, Jonathan Blow, is known for his skill in puzzles, but his controversial opinions outside of the game might not be for everyone. In the end, Braid Anniversary Edition is great for fans of the original game, and anyone interested in how games are made. Dragon's Dogma 2 feels more like a polished version of the first game than a brand new sequel. It keeps the best parts like the exciting combat, open-world exploration, and its mysterious fantasy world. But it also brings back some downsides like a steep learning curve and chaotic battles that can feel confusing. The game is tough but rewarding. You'll face hard enemies and limited fast travel options, so you'll need to plan your moves carefully. The main story isn't very memorable, but the side quests, hidden secrets, and character interactions make the world feel alive. The pawn system is back and improved. You can borrow AI companions from other players, but sometimes they don't fight well in battles. The combat is the highlight of the game. Fun, detailed, and physics-based, but there aren't many good tutorials, so it can be tricky at first. While the game has microtransactions, they don't affect how you play much. If you like the first one, you'll enjoy this, and it has its unique charm in the RPG world. Nine Souls by Red Candle Games is a 2D Metroidvania game with combat inspired by Sekiro. The combat is all about timing your parries. If you do it right, you can charge up and unleash powerful talismans that deal big damage. The boss fights are tough, but beating them feels amazing. You play as Yi, a cat samurai who isn't exactly a hero. Yi explores a strange and dangerous world, filled with enemies, puzzles, and secrets. The story also has a lot of heart, especially in Yi's bond with Shanshun, a lovable human child. The game can feel a bit too wordy at times, and some of the early areas might seem familiar. But with its fun combat, cool mechanics, and a great story, Nine Souls is one of the best games of 2024. If you like Metroidvanias, you should check it out. Spin Rhythm XD is a fun rhythm game that's easy to play but hard to put down. You spin and match colors to the beat, and the controls are simple to learn with a helpful tutorial. The game has over 60 songs in different styles like house, disco, jazz, and dubstep. As you play harder levels, you can unlock cool stuff like new skins, menu designs, and more songs. It also has QR codes that connect to Spotify so you can find new music while playing. On PS5, the game feels smooth with responsive controls and settings to match the sound and visuals perfectly. You can also practice tricky parts of songs to get better. There's no multiplayer or DJ controller support, but the game is still super fun and great for anyone who loves rhythm games or discovering new music. Next, we have Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. This game brings back the magic of the Sands of Time and mixes it with a 2D Metroidvania style. The platforming and combat are both great, with tight controls and fast, stylish action. Combat is fun, focusing on combos, reactions, and dodging enemy attacks, while the platforming is tough but rewarding. The story follows Sargon, a brave warrior who needs to rescue a kidnapped prince. The plot can be a little confusing and some parts feel unfinished, but the gameplay, boss battles, and level design make up for it. The photo system that tracks your progress is a cool feature. Most of the voice acting is good, but one character uses a text-to-speech program, which stands out in a bad way. In short, The Lost Crown is a fast, fun, and polished game that brings the series back to life. The Silent Hill 2 remake is a top-tier horror game. Bloober Team has done a great job updating this classic while keeping its spooky atmosphere. The fog and creepy environments are even scarier thanks to the improved visuals. The sound, especially Akira Yamaoka's famous music, makes the game feel even more disturbing. The new controls make it easier to play, but it still keeps its frightening vibe. What makes Silent Hill 2 special is its deep story. This isn't just a game about scary moments or fun. It focuses on tough feelings like grief and guilt, giving you an emotional experience that stays with you. While there are some slow parts, the remake still makes a big impact. It reminds us why Silent Hill 2 is one of the best survival horror games. If you want a horror game that leaves a lasting impression, Silent Hill 2 is a must-play. Unicorn Overlord is a tactical RPG set in the large world of Fevrith. You play as a prince trying to take back his throne. The game stands out because battles happen directly on the open-world map, with different terrains like grasslands, deserts, and forests affecting your strategy. The combat is tricky but fun. You control units with unique abilities, and where you place them is very important. You'll also need to think about type advantages and how different character classes work together. The game has a system for customizing tactics and building relationships with your characters, like in Fire Emblem. The art in Unicorn Overlord is beautiful, with hand-painted visuals and smooth animations. The story is about a prince trying to free his kingdom, but it's made more interesting with great character development and voice acting. Even though the game can be long and complex, it keeps players hooked with exciting battles and character interactions. It's a game that gets better as you play, offering deep strategy without being too hard to understand. Shin Megami Tensei Fi Vengeance is a new version of the 2021 game with some exciting updates. This version adds a new story, fresh characters, enemies, and quests. The Vengeance path brings a twist, focusing more on human characters with new playable characters like Yoko. The game still has the same tough RPG mechanics, but the new content makes it feel fresh. You'll also find a new area and dungeon to explore, while the game mostly keeps the original structure. The combat is still the same challenging turn-based system, where you have to exploit enemy weaknesses and manage your demon team carefully. Vengeance also adds a new feature called Demon Haunt for stat boosts and makes travel easier with Magatsu rails. While the revenge-focused story might not work for everyone, the game's atmosphere, music, and art design are still amazing. It doesn't drastically change the original, but with all the new content and improvements, Vengeance is a great choice for both returning players and newcomers. If you enjoyed the original or want a tough RPG, Vengeance is worth playing. Persona 3 Reload is a reimagined version of the classic RPG, blending turn-based combat, dungeon crawling, and social simulation. You play as Makoto, a transfer student who joins SEs to investigate the mysterious Dark Hour and battle powerful creatures known as shadows. The game features dynamic combat with Persona Fusion, allowing you to create stronger allies by combining different personas. Outside of battles, you'll balance school life, form relationships, and even go on dates, with these interactions boosting your combat abilities. Exploration takes place in the massive Tartarus dungeon, which can feel repetitive but offers rewarding progress. The game also features an unforgettable soundtrack, with tracks like It's Going Down Now and Color Your Night, adding to the experience. Persona 3 Reload is perfect for fans of deep, story-driven RPGs looking for a mix of strategy, social interaction, and dungeon exploration. Hi-Fi Rush is a fun and colorful game made by Tango Gameworks, known for their dark games like The Evil Within. This game is full of energy and bright colors. You control Chai, a character who fights robots to the beat of rock music. The combat in the game is based on rhythm. If you attack and move to the music, you do more damage, making fights exciting. There is no manual targeting, which can be a little annoying, but the rhythm-based combat is still fun. The game's details are amazing. Everything in the world moves with the music, making it feel alive. The characters, especially Chai's friends, are funny and full of personality. The animation is excellent. The music is also great, with some licensed songs and a few original tracks that make key moments even better. Despite a couple of small problems, the game is still very enjoyable and memorable. Animal Well is a fun puzzle game where you explore a mysterious cavern as a small blob character. There's no combat or jumping around like in other games. Instead, you solve puzzles and find secrets in a world full of hidden things. The game is designed in a Metroidvania style, meaning you'll need to explore every corner to find new puzzles and challenges. The game doesn't give you much information or tutorials, but it's easy to understand. You find tools and items that help you solve puzzles as you explore different areas. The pixel art looks amazing, with cool lighting effects that make the world feel alive. Sometimes the map can feel a little too big, but discovering new things feels rewarding. After you finish the main game, there's still more to explore with extra puzzles. Some of these challenges might get a little repetitive, but it's still a great experience overall. Animal Well is perfect for players who enjoy puzzles and exploring new places. If you like games that make you think and discover things, this one is worth playing. Castlevania Dominus Collection brings 3 classic DS games: Dawn of Sorrow, Portrait of Ruin, and Order of Ecclesia. These games are praised for their great atmosphere, fun gameplay, and memorable music, making them stand out in the Metroidvania genre. The collection also includes the original Haunted Castle arcade game and a remake, showing the effort put into the package. Adapting the DS games to a single screen is tricky, but the collection adds useful features like an art gallery, soundtracks, and a rewind function to improve the experience. In Dawn of Sorrow, exploration is deep, but the soul farming system can be repetitive. Portrait of Ruin introduces dual characters and varied environments, but has some repetition. Order of Ecclesia offers refined gameplay and a great story, although the first part feels too linear. In short, the Castlevania Dominus Collection is a fantastic Metroidvania experience, despite a few minor flaws. Like a Dragon, Infinite Wealth is set in a vibrant Hawaiian world, blending classic Yakuza street fighting with a new tactical turn-based combat system. It adds features like proximity-based attacks and team combos to make fights more exciting. The story follows Ichiban Kasuga and Kazuma Kiryu as they search for Kasuga's mother while uncovering a conspiracy. The game has strong humor, great dialogue, and memorable villains, including a mob boss voiced by Danny Trejo. The Hawaii setting is large and fun to explore, with familiar locations from past Yakuza games. The game keeps quirky enemies and strange situations that fans love. The job system from Yakuza Like a Dragon returns, with new classes for characters, and the game has smoother progression without hard difficulty spikes. However, the lack of adjustable difficulty in the first playthrough could be an issue for some players. With plenty of side content, Infinite Wealth is a must-play for Yakuza fans. Tekken 8 is the next game that has done a good job by keeping the best parts of the series while adding fresh features. The game sticks to its core mechanics, like movement and spacing, but introduces the heat system and recoverable health. The heat system boosts your attacks and lets you perform powerful combos, making every round more exciting. Characters with strong offensive skills will benefit the most from these changes. The training tools are excellent, with modes like Arcade Quest to help you improve step by step. The replay system lets you watch your matches and learn from them. For beginners, there's a special style control mode that simplifies moves, but it's not meant for competitive play. The game features both returning characters and 3 new ones: Victor, Azucena, and Reina. There are also fun single-player modes like Arcade Quest and Super Ghost Battle. Online play has improved with better netcode, faster rematches, and crossplay support. Tekken 8 is perfect for both new players and longtime fans. Next, we have The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered. This version doesn't just improve the graphics and frame rates, it adds a lot of cool new features. One of the best new things is the guitar mode. You can now play music in the game. There are also new outfits for Ellie and Abby to unlock. If you want more fun, there are gameplay modifiers like infinite ammo and slow motion aiming. The remaster also includes 3 levels that were cut from the original game. These levels come with commentary from the developers, so you can learn more about how the game was made. A brand new roguelike mode called No Return is also included. In this mode, you fight through random encounters with different characters and weapons, making each playthrough different. The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered is a great way to replay the game, but the extra content and behind-the-scenes insights make it special. Whether you're a fan returning or new to the game, it's worth checking out. Balatro is a poker-inspired roguelike that keeps you hooked with its fun and challenging gameplay. Instead of fighting or a deep story, the game focuses on building the best poker hands by discarding and drawing cards to reach high scores in different challenges. You can try different strategies like aiming for flushes and use booster packs to make your deck stronger. Luck is important, but the game feels fair because your choices matter. The game also has jokers, which can change the game in big ways. They give big multipliers and special abilities. With beautiful visuals, great music, and lots of replay value with new decks and harder levels, Balatro is a game you'll want to play over and over. Although luck sometimes makes things frustrating, the fun gameplay and cool mechanics make Balatro a roguelike that's hard to stop playing. Destiny 2. The final shape wraps up the game's long story with a great ending. It adds cool new features like the prismatic subclasses, which let players customize their abilities. A new enemy faction, the Dread, also brings fresh challenges to the game. The new raid, Salvation's Edge, is one of the toughest and most rewarding activities Bungie has made. While the story can be confusing at times, it makes the Witness a strong final villain. Even though Destiny 2 still has some issues with its RPG systems and story, the final shape is a great expansion with new content, an epic ending, and better gameplay, making it one of the best in the series. Dave the Diver is one of the most unique and fun games of 2024. It combines underwater adventure with running a sushi restaurant, making it a game like no other. You play as Dave, a diver exploring the blue hole to collect fish and resources while also managing a busy restaurant. The game mixes action with restaurant management, where you'll balance staff, recipes, and resources to keep the business running smoothly. The story is full of humor and surprises, adding a lot of depth to the gameplay. With simple puzzles and combat, Dave the Diver keeps things light and fun. Even though there are a few minor bugs and some minigames that aren't perfect, the game is still a blast to play. It's the perfect mix of adventure and managing a sushi restaurant. Next up is Slay the Princess the Pristine Cut. This game is a mix of psychological horror and a visual novel, and it improves on the original in many ways. You'll experience a time loop where the main character has different personas, and each one changes the story. The writing is amazing, and the voice acting by Jonathan Sims and Nicole Goodnight brings the characters to life. The hand-drawn art in black and white adds to the creepy atmosphere of the game. The story covers deep topics, but also mixes humor and emotional moments. While the audio and controls could be better, the music and overall feel of the game are unforgettable. The Pristine Cut adds new scenarios and endings, making the game even more emotional and thought-provoking. If you love games with a strong story and a creepy vibe, this one's a must-play. Final Fantasy VII. Rebirth is an exciting continuation of the Final Fantasy VII story. It mixes action and turn-based RPG gameplay in a new way. The game takes the original world and turns it into huge open regions, giving players beautiful new places to explore. It also adds new characters and features, making the game feel fresh. The combat system is fun, with special abilities that work well together, making battles more exciting. However, some enemies can make the flow of combat feel a bit off, and things like climbing and grappling can feel a little awkward. The game also introduces a card game called Queen's Blood, which adds a fun, tactical challenge. The main story is interesting, but sometimes the game focuses too much on side activities and minigames, which can take away from the main plot. Even with these small issues, Rebirth offers an amazing adventure with great visuals, strong character development, and a world that's fun to explore. Metaphor ReFantazio is an exciting RPG by Atlas. It mixes familiar ideas from Persona and Shin Megami Tensei with fresh new features. The game takes place in a world full of tough issues like inequality, racism, and religious abuse. The 80-hour story focuses on a magical election in a divided kingdom and shows how people can work together to bring hope and change. The gameplay is fun and easy to get into. The archetype class system and social elements are smooth, and the combat mixes turn-based strategy with real-time action. It's challenging, but also rewarding. The side quests are interesting and help you explore the world more. Visually, the game has a unique look, blending dark and creepy styles with beautiful environments. The music by Shoji Meguro adds to the atmosphere, making the game feel even more emotional. While the writing can sometimes feel repetitive, the message about humanity's ability to change is powerful. Astrobot is a fun and creative platformer that feels like a celebration of gaming history. Made by Team Asobi, the game is full of colorful levels, exciting abilities like the twin frog gloves, and clever references to iconic characters. It's so good it even compares to Mario games. The adventure lasts about 9 hours and is packed with surprises, fun cameos, and smart level designs. The controls are smooth, and the DualSense controller makes every jump and move feel more immersive. Most levels are straightforward, but hidden areas and collectibles make exploring even more rewarding. There are also optional challenges for players who want more difficulty. Plus, the hub area and gacha system add even more charm. Astrobot is perfect for both longtime fans of platformers and new players. It's a game that's all about fun, and Team Asobi did an incredible job with it. Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree is an incredible DLC that adds a whole new chapter to the base game. It's packed with challenges, secrets, and a massive world to explore. You follow the story of Miquella, a demigod, through the realm of Shadow. The game gives you gentle guidance but lets you explore freely. Hidden paths and surprises make every area feel fresh and rewarding. There are over 40 bosses, including 10 epic main battles, offering tough but fair challenges. The DLC also brings new weapons, spells, and abilities, giving you more ways to customize your character. Features like Scadutree fragments and Spirit Ash blessings keep things exciting while staying balanced. The art and story are stunning, pulling you deeper into the game's world. With over 25 hours of gameplay, Shadow of the Erdtree feels like a full game on its own. If you're a fan of Elden Ring, this is a must-play. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed our list of the top 30 PS5 games of 2024. If you have a favorite we didn't mention, or if you disagree with the rankings, share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more content. See you next time.